Hey, how's it going, guys? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how hard Battlefield 4 for the PC is going to be able to run. Now, this is going to be the new PC, tester, which everyone comments on the YouTube video saying, can this PC run Battlefield 4? Right now, it's Battlefield 3 and, Skyrim. Two games that aren't really the most difficult to run at this point in time, but people still want to know if they can run them. And Battlefield 4 is basically going to be the new benchmark. It's gonna be probably the hardest game to run up until that point. Now, basically, the official specs to run the game are not out. EA did release something like you need a DirectX 11 graphics card. Like, what the fuck? How more vague can you get? But basically, with just using my head a little bit, I basically was able to kind of estimate what you're gonna need. So basically, think about Battlefield 3. That's what I'm using as a measurement. When Battlefield 3 came out, the main graphics card at the time was the GTX 560 Ti and the AMD Radeon HD 6950. Those were the mid-range and cards that were pretty good for the money. That's where those were the cards that everyone would get because they were $200 to $300 and really good value. And that's what Battlefield 3 recommended for the optimal gaming experience. You needed a 6950 or a 650 Ti. Now, or not a 650 Ti, a 560 Ti. So think about that. 6950, 560 Ti. What right now is about proportional to those cards? Well, you have the 7950, which is a pretty damn good card, if I do say so myself. And you have the GTX 760, which is coming out soon, or the GTX 770, or the GTX 670. So that's what you're probably going to need to run this game at 1080p, ultra settings at, reasonable frame rates. You guys are going to need a pretty beefy card to play this game at, max settings 1080p. So GTX 660 Ti, I'd say, is the bare minimum that you'd probably need to run this game at reasonable settings at 1080p. 660 Ti, 7870, I think if you have that card, you could probably run the game at 1080p at around 30-35 frames per second. Moving on, 670, 680, again, you could use those cards for a little more performance. I think this card is going to really benefit from having something like a GTX 770 or a 7970. I think also with the new GTX 760, which is supposed to perform around the level of between a GTX 770 and a 780, I think that card's going to fare pretty well with the game too. And obviously, the game's going to require a quad-core CPU. I think dual-core is... I think if you have a dual-core, you might want to consider upgrading that if you're really looking to play Battlefield 4, because that game looks intensive as hell, and Battlefield 3 was a very CPU-intensive game. Now we fast-forward 2 years, so quad-core CPU, maybe even overclocked, is going to be a real necessity. So thanks for watching this video, guys. This is a question I've been getting a lot in my comments. There's no definitive answer right now, but I figured I'd just share my opinion on how hard I think it's going to be to run. And I can guarantee you guys maybe 80% chance that I am correct. It's pretty easy to predict this kind of stuff because looking at Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 seems to be taking the same kind of leaps that Battlefield 3 happened to take. And I know before some of you comment, I know at E3 they used Crossfire 7970s to run the demo boots. Well, Crossfire 7970s, they wanted to get 60 frames per second, constant, 1080p. They might have even been playing at a higher resolution. They wanted to output to that giant monitor. Of course, they're gonna over-exaggerate the card. The fucking Xbox One was running on, what, 2 Titans? And Xbox One games are not going to be running on Titans, so don't even comment that, but the E3 demos were using 2 7970s. No, that doesn't mean jack shit. Do you really think EA would market to a minority of a market that can spend $800 on graphics cards? No way. They want to market to that mid-range consumer. And even if you do have like a 650 Ti or a 7770, 7850, you can probably still run the game, probably just not maxed out. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm rambling right now. Just needed to clear some things up at the end. So thanks for watching. Like this video, comment, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.